we are gonna do a nice yoga flow that's all levels, that is a tour of our emotions, a tour of how we feel, how we can release negative emotions and bring in all those good feels. So I'm so excited that you're here with me. Carmita Smiles, welcome. I am in my space in the 614 in the wonderful Dublin, Columbus, Ohio. I love to say because it's Dublin, Ohio, but it's really, if you're not from Columbus, you usually just hear Columbus, Ohio. It's a wonderful place, a wonderful town to be, and I'm so glad that you could be here with me. So let's get started, and if you have any questions along the way, just put them in the comments, or if you reach out to me, you can visit my website at Carmita, it's C-A-R-M-I-T-A smiles.com, and contact me, and I can answer any questions that you have. There's also a link in the About Me section of this YouTube page. So once again, thank you, and let's get started. To get started on our first day of our virtual tour, the first emotion that we are going to tour is happiness, because I am so happy that you can join me today on this wonderful, wonderful virtual tour. This is a wonderful way to not only start the week, but a wonderful way to start on a journey of self-care for you, taking this moment, this time for yourself, allowing you to use your body in wonderful ways, feel how your body moves, and then also give thanks to your body at the end. So this is a wonderful way we're going to do poses that open up, let light in, and bring in happiness. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in a nice cat-cow position. So you're going to come on onto the floor or your mat or whatever you are using, and we're going to go ahead and come onto our knees and have them in line with our hips and our hands under our shoulders. And we're going to inhale as we go into a nice cow position. Our head may lift a little bit. We're going to inhale, filling up that belly with air, and then exhale. We're going to exhale all of that oxygen out, going into a nice cat position. And once more, let's go through. We're going to inhale again, filling up that belly with air, opening up our chest, starting to let that light shine on us. And exhale into cat, arching that back, nice and smooth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more, just one more. Inhale, one good deep inhale, filling up that belly with that breath. And exhale, let it all go, let it all release. And coming back to center, coming back to neutral, you want to make sure that you're going to hold in your core nice and tight, bring in that center as we go through our yoga sequence today. So next we're going to fold back into what is known as a nice child's pose. So we're going to go ahead and come back, and you can have your knees as wide as you'd like, that's comfortable. You can have them out as wide as width of the mat. So we're going to go ahead and flow back, just flowing into child's pose and taking a few breaths. As you're here in child's pose, maybe you begin to just come into awareness and letting any thoughts or anxieties or any schedules that you have on your mind, just let them go and breathe. And after your next exhale, you're going to come back up onto all fours. We're going to come back up into this neutral tabletop position. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to add some movement into our body now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our right leg, take our right leg, lift it up, keeping the knee bent, and start to raise it up. Raise that foot to the ceiling. Maybe lift up that chest once more, allowing the hands and other left leg to keep stable, and lifting up that chest. And then we're going to go ahead and bring that leg back down, swoop it through and bring it in to your chest. Then we're going to go ahead and again and swoop that right leg back, opening up, letting that foot guide that leg up to the sky, up to the ceiling. Chest opening up again. And then you're going to exhale, and as you're exhaling, you're going to move that foot into your chest. And then you're going to inhale once more, raising that leg up, that foot guiding your leg up to the ceiling. And releasing, dropping that foot down to the floor. And we're going to switch and do the same on our left side. You're going to go ahead. We're going to raise up that left leg as you exhale, bringing up that chest, raising that foot to the sky. And as you exhale, coming through, bringing that leg through up to chest. And inhale again, taking that left foot up high to the sky. Chest opens up to the world and the light. And as you exhale, bringing that left foot in, up to chest again. Maybe rounding the head down. And final one, raising that left leg up. Foot going towards the sky, opening up that chest, finding stability through the arms, through the hands. And that right foot that's on the ground. And then letting go, dropping that leg down to the floor. Wonderful job. And we're going to go once more into a nice child's pose. This time you can have both knees out mat width apart and bring your feet together and flow right back into that child's pose, feet touching the ground. Toes are touching together. And breathe. This time, after your next inhale, exhale, you're going to rise back up onto all fours. We're going to go ahead, we're going to scoop, and we're going to actually do a nice variation of what is known as thread the needle. So what you can do is you can have your left arm, so you can see me first, left arm stays stable, hand on the ground, left leg rises up, and you're going to be kind of on your big toe on that foot, right leg stays bent, and we're going to inhale, and then exhale that right arm up to the sky. So just follow me, raising that right arm up to the sky, stretching, opening up that chest. And then slowly bring that right arm down and around, guide it through under that left arm. And slowly drop down your shoulder to the floor. And this is a nice thread the needle. We're going to stay here and just breathe. This is another one. We're opening up that body. We're grounding to the earth. We're finding peace and happiness. This left arm, nice and stable, grounding you, finding stability through that arm. Breathing in, center is held in, working those muscles. And when ready, lifting up slowly and starting to bring that arm back in through, and bring that right arm lining up with the left again, dropping that left leg down. And now we're going to do the other side. So this time, having stability through your right hand, we're going to take in your left leg, we're going to take that right leg Lean it out a bit. And then we're going to take our left arm, bringing it up, rising it up towards the ceiling, opening up that chest. Also welcome in a nice spinal twist, moving any energy that may be stagnant in the body. And we're going to go ahead, take that left arm now, wrap it through underneath the right arm, and drop that shoulder down, possibly the head. And stay here for a nice thread the needle and breathe. Breathe it through. Holding that core nice, getting grounded with the earth. And on your next exhale, coming back up, releasing that left arm, bringing it back through and placing it down, getting restabilized as you bring that right leg down also. Back into our neutral tabletop position. Wonderful. And once again, we're actually going to do a little reverse instead of child's pose this time. We're going to counteract that, and we're going to just slowly glide back onto our sit bones, onto our legs and our calves, and take a moment here. Hands are face forward on the mat. Take a moment to breathe. Allowing our mental to catch up with our physical to align with our mental. And after the next exhale, we're just going to come up for a nice little toe stretch. You're going to raise up for a moment like you would go into our camel pose is what we call it. Pick up those toes and let them be on the mat stable, and slowly go back, just slowly applying pressure on those toes. Only go as far back as comfortable. We're going to sit here stretching those toes for just a minute. It feels so good. That's another thing that just puts a smile on my face. And then releasing up and dropping those feet back down and coming back here. Sit bone on your calves. If you'd like to move up a moment on the mat, you can, or you don't have to. And we're just going to do a nice counteracting stretch from our child's pose. We're going to slowly just move back. This kind of sets you up for maybe a mermaid or some other wonderful bridge poses. We're going to have our palms still facing us. And just move back those arms just as far as comfortable. Breathing in, opening up that chest, lifting the head just a tad up towards the sky, up towards the light. Smile and breathe. Lifting that chest, dropping the shoulders, and breathe. And once more, and breathe. After that next exhale, releasing, letting the arms come back, creeping close into the body, letting your center come back down into the sit bones. All right, and we're going to go once more, going back to that wonderful neutral position of all fours. We're going to lift those toes back up. We're going to move on to all fours, and we're going to go into our first downward dog. So you want to get up on those toes, and this is a wonderful pose to work the entire body. We're going to slowly lift up, keep knees bent if you need, and then lift up some more, flowing down into a nice downward dog. And you can pedal out the legs if this is your first downward dog of the day. We name it downward dog. It's like when a dog goes to stretch and they let down their front of their body and their hind is up in the air. And you just let your hands align with your shoulders, shoulders down, back comes in flat. You start to want to reach those ankles towards the ground. And breathe. And after your next exhale, we're going to slowly come on down, flowing into a plank. And you're actually just going to drop the lower body down to the mat, letting feet fall to the floor. And this is a nice variation of plank. And breathe. Keeping that chest open wide, it's wonderful. And breathe. And after this next inhale, exhale, slowly guide the rest of your body down to the mat, belly to mat. Arms slowly float under your shoulders. We're going to do a nice little cobra here. So we're just going to work on that upper back and upper body. And once again, allowing that light and shining positivity and happiness to enter our lives, opening up our hearts to the world. So when you're ready, you can have your head face tilted down, face towards the mat, and slowly lift up those hands, lift up that chest, and hover just for a moment. And release, coming back down to mat. We're going to do that twice more. Once again, resetting, and then go ahead and start to lift up that chest. Just hover the hands off the mat. Those feet keeping stable. And release. And once more, coming back into that cobra, opening up that chest, hovering just a bit, maybe getting a little bit deeper. And release, coming back down to mat. Take a moment just to see how the body feels. Let the mind and the body align. And then when ready, we're going to come back up into that modified plank. So you're going to slowly have your arms underneath, almost at your ribs at your waist. And you're going to slowly glide only the upper body up off the mat into that modified plank. Slowly get those toes lifted now off the ground and flow back into a downward dog. All right. You should be able to get nice and stable, flowing back into that downward dog, having your hands stable on the mat, feet aligning. You can have a little bit of space, maybe about 6-7 inches in between your feet, wanting those ankles to reach towards the ground as your back straightens out, downward dog. And now we're going to get ready. We're going to go into our first three-legged dog. So you're going to take that left foot, find stability there, hands find stability, and you're going to slowly raise up that right leg towards the sky. And then bring it through up to your chest like we did earlier. And then raise that back up into the sky. And exhaling, bringing it up through the chest once more. And one final time, raising that right leg up to the sky. And this time you're going to slowly glide that right leg to the front of your mat. Step that foot down in between your hands. You can walk it there or just glide it to the front there. And now you have your hands stable. You're in a nice lunge position. Some people would call this like a minor version of lizard. And you're going to take that left foot and you're going to bring it up to meet your right foot at the front of your mat. So lift up, using your hands and right leg to keep you stable, and bringing that left foot up and falling into a nice forward fold. Here in that forward fold, feel free to take hands to opposite elbows. Now you're in a nice ragdoll position. And you're just going to raise the body, rock it front to back. Come back to center. Maybe rock it side to side, right to left. And back to center. You're going to drop those hands once more. And you're going to slowly raise up those hands to your calf. We're going to come into a nice flat back, extending that crown away from the body. As you inhale and exhale, releasing back down, hands to mat. Once again, inhaling, hands up to calves, up to shin. And exhale, hands down to mat. Once more, hands gliding up the legs up to shin, crown floating away from the body. That back is nice and flat. facing face down towards the floor. And release. Get a nice little bend in the knees, bring arms around, and come in for a nice mountain pose. Arms reach up towards the sky, head gaze follows. Palms come together, follow, and palms slowly move down to your chest, to your heart. Take a moment, take a breath. Once more, we're going to drop those hands, maybe bend at the knees a little bit. Inhale, bring arms around towards the ceiling, gaze follows, palms together. Slowly bring hands, palms down to heart, down to chest, keeping that core nice and tight. So while we're in mountain, once more, wrapping those arms around, reaching them over towards the sky. Palms together. Breathe. After that exhale, bring those arms now down to heart chakra, down to chest. Now what we're going to do here is I will show you, I will face your direction so you can see me clearly, but what I want you to do is we're going to practice lifting up this right leg. It's another one. It's a good way to start you on your flow to dancer pose. So what I want you to do is you're going to slowly make sure your left leg has stability in it. It can have a little bend as you need if you need to as we go along, but you're going to slowly start to raise. After you find stability in your left foot, raise that right leg up, sort of bending at the knee. The foot can follow along, aligned with the side of the left leg, keeping that right leg in that knee direction straight. Don't let it bend out. Keep it straight in front of you. And as we get ready, you're going to drop that right hand and go on the outside of your ankle, just kind of supporting that right leg. And you're going to slowly bend forward here. And if you want, you can go ahead and take your left arm and bring it out in front of you. And you can work on extending that right leg out or hold here with me, making sure that core is engaged and you're breathing through. And making sure, don't let that right leg go out to the side there. Bring that back in here. So as you may see, I'll show you from this side. So the right leg, so you can see what I'm doing. Your left arm is here. You may need to bend the left knee a little bit, but you're going to raise that right leg up and center. Don't let it come out here. Let it stay here. And you're going to slowly, this is a good way to work on balance. I ran track when I was a kid, so it was hurdles all the time, and it was a little tough with balance after on my ankles. But you might need to have that left leg have a little bend in it. That's okay. You're going to have left arm here. You're going to slowly lift forward as you find stability and keep this right leg aligned in center. So once again, don't let that right leg lean out. You want to keep it, ooh, there we go. We want to keep that right leg in center, just going back, maybe that foot guiding it. You're kind of using your pelvis to keep it, and your right hand helps to keep you in line. And you're just coming over. You can have your left hand here to help you stay stable, or you can start to release that left hand out in front of you and diving a little bit deeper, starting to extend that back leg if you need. So I'm going to go back to this side. So hopefully that helps the explanation. So just go ahead, work with it for a bit, work on your balance. And if you wanted to, getting into that pose and taking a breath, when you need to release to reset, go ahead, kind of play with it. Or if you want to really work on that stability and that balance, you just keep that left leg stable, that foot solid on the ground, make sure your toes are nice and wide on the floor, and you pick up that right leg here, start it out in front of you, and just back it up, having that right arm back here on that ankle, or you can take it to the foot, having that left arm out, and make sure that that right leg is really staying in close here. We don't want to let it out too far. Breathe through, and then when ready, bring that right leg through the front again and drop it down. Maybe walk the legs out a moment if you need. And come together and come into a standing easy pose or a standing Tadasana when you're ready. Closing the eyes just to breathe, letting the body find stability again on the ground. And when ready, we're going to take those arms up above. We're going to drop them as we swan dive forward. Bring the arms down to the hands in front of us. And we're going to hop or walk out back, coming into a nice plank, flowing down through chaturanga and into another downward dog. And we're going to do this again, but now on the left side. So now take a few breaths, take a moment to get stable in downward dog. Start to work on finding stability through that left foot into the ground, and you're going to raise that right leg up and then bring it in through to your chest, holding in that core nice and tight to help see it through, and then lifting that left leg up and then bringing that into your chest once more. And even with this, really try to keep that left leg in. Don't let it lean out. You want to keep that left leg in your body. That prepares you for that next pose. And this time, bringing that left leg all the way through, dropping it down on your hands. You're going to end up in a nice, wonderful lunge. Just enjoy that feeling. Enjoy opening up that chest in that lunge. It feels so amazing. And then when ready, you're going to take that right foot, just as we did before, and hop and bring that right foot beside your left. Once more, you're hanging out in forward fold. Just breathe. Mind and body catch up. And if you want, once again, take your hands, maybe rock them front to back on opposite elbows like a rag doll. Maybe go side to side now, starting on the opposite side than you did before. Going back to center and breathing. Just allowing that head to hang heavy. And then dropping hands down to the mat. And then bringing hands up to shins, rising up into flat back, inhaling, extending crown, and dropping back down. Once again, hands to shins, inhale. Drop down, exhale. Last one, inhale. Flat back, extend crown, shoulders down, and exhale. When we bend at the knees once more, coming up into our mountain pose, hands together at palms. Drop those palms down to heart. Once again, wrapping around, bending the knees a bit, maybe bringing palms together. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. One more. Rounding those arms around, taking them up, facing the ceiling, gaze following. Hold, breathe. And when ready, dropping those hands slowly down to heart chakra. And once again, now we're going to work on that left foot. So you want to find stability through your right leg now. So you're going to go ahead, you're going to find stability working on that foot. And do where you're comfortable. There are so many variations of this. It's wonderful. Make sure your core is nice and held tight, tailbone down to help you center. And then you want to keep the right leg nice and stable. Hands together. Once more, you're going to go and slowly raise up that left leg, bringing it to the front. Finding stability. Keeping that left leg in close. Don't let it lean out to the side. And when ready, breathe. Maybe taking that left arm down, back to that left leg. Also start to bend over. Keeping that leg lined. Keeping your gaze soft. Maybe releasing that right arm if you'd like. And breathe. And when ready, after your next few breaths, start to bring that right arm in. Left leg comes in. Let it fly through and drop it down. All right. Now go ahead and take a moment if you want to work with that again to go through, kind of play with it, see where you're stable at, kind of work with it. Sometimes one leg is stronger than the other, our balance is maybe better on the other. So go ahead and maybe lift up that left leg again, kind of let it hang here in front. Work on really shifting and keeping that knee straight. The right foot is straight, maybe bent knee though a little bit to help stabilize you. Work on just gliding it through. That foot is flexed when you first go through, and then you can release that foot up, bending down. Maybe even just letting that go up and releasing. Making sure you have that leg aligned and coming in through again and dropping it down. So go ahead and play with that, and when you're ready, kind of wiggle out the legs a bit, kind of maybe play with those feet, and release into a nice standing easy pose or standing Tadasana, making sure that core is in, tailbone is back, palms are facing forward, fingers are stretched apart, taking in that sunlight, that sunshine, those feel-good vibes. Breathe through. And when ready, we're going to take those arms around, come up to the ceiling, face up towards the ceiling, palms together. We're going to swan dive back into a nice forward fold, folding over. Maybe putting the hands behind the legs, getting a little bit deeper in that forward fold. Then releasing the hands, dropping them down, and you can slowly step or hop back into that nice plank and chaturanga. Drop down, flow through chaturanga, and another downward dog. All right. Just breathe here. That nice final heat going through the body, all that energy. Have the legs, maybe those ankles are reaching closer to the mat now or the ground. Shoulders down, back is flat, breathe. Three more breaths. Hold that core nice and strong. After that next exhale, slowly go ahead, lift up on those toes and drop back down. Back into our neutral position. All right, how's that feeling? Maybe kind of raise that out a bit, maybe move a little bit, move the body. Just a little bit. Maybe go in circles. Go circles the other way, just to get some movement in the body. And then when ready, find yourself in neutral stabilizing. We're gonna flow back to the back. We're gonna cross our legs over. If you, or however you may cross your legs over and flip back onto your bum if that's comfortable. Otherwise, feel free from the tabletop position to just take the legs to one side and drop back. As long as you make it safely with control onto your bum, onto your sit bones. All right, and we are almost done. I want to thank you again for joining me for the first day, day one of my virtual tour, virtual yoga tour of emotions. This is so wonderful. I thought happiness was a wonderful thing to start off the week. Good feels for everybody. So get ready. So we're going to do just a couple more things. We're going to come into a nice boat pose. This is a really good last way to work that core. So I want you to have your knees here in front of you. If you want to take a moment for a nice gratitude hug, feel free to hug your arms around your knees, bow your head down. And on that exhale, release, thinking your body, opening up that heart, that chest, that head to the sun. And then once more, coming in for a nice gratitude hug. Exhaling, coming back out again. Arms coming up, rounding under, behind your knees, or your thighs, I'm sorry, but I guess underneath your knees. We're going to come up boat pose. It's like you're a boat on the water. If you'd like, you can stay here, having this body straight, shoulders down still, while hands are under your knees onto your thighs for support. Stay here and breathe. If you want to get a little wild, go ahead and start to lift up the right foot. See how it feels. Lift up the left foot. see how it feels. Lift up both feet. Now you're almost in like a little triangle pose. Let one arm go. Let the other arm go. And breathe. After your next exhale, slowly bring those feet back if they were above. Slowly drop feet with control back to the floor. Bring back up, shoulders down. And release, letting go. Palms dropping down to the floor, helping you get a little closer with those legs. We're going to drop down to our backs. Coming down with control onto our mat. Once again, coming in for a nice gratitude hug. Thank your body for the wonderful job it did today. Maybe roll it around in some circles. Then roll it around in some circles the other direction. Coming back to center. And you're going to go ahead, give your body a nice squeeze. Again, hugging those knees into your chest. And we're going to keep the right knee hugged into our chest. Left leg drops down to the ground. And when ready, keep that right leg bent. We're going to take this right leg and just start a nice spinal twist. Gently with control, guide that right leg with knee bent over the left, reaching for the floor. Right arm can spread out and reach towards the ground. Your gaze can follow. Just breathe through. Remembering to breathe. After your next exhale, I'm going to raise that right leg back up, bring right arm back to center. Having that right leg in, bring that left leg in for one more hug, gratitude hugs. Then go ahead, drop that right leg down. Have that left leg into center, into chest. Let it stay bent and start to fold it over the right leg for a spinal twist in that direction. This was a full body twist. Allowing left arm out, aligned with shoulder. You should be able to feel that from the bottom of your body all the way up through the shoulders. It's wonderful how our bodies are connected. Gaze follow that left arm out and breathe. When ready, after that next exhale, bringing left arm, left leg back to center, bringing right leg up to meet the left in for one more gratitude hug. And if you'd like a bonus today, we can always do this as a wonderful, wonderful heart opener, body opener, lower body opener. Opens up your groin muscles, your inner thighs, just opens up the body to the world. It's called Happy Baby Pose. So if you'd like to try this, this is a bonus for today. You just slowly let your legs extend, keeping a little bend in the knee. Take your hands on the insides of your feet, as you can see with my right leg, right hand, and let those knees bend. And it's like a happy baby when babies are young and they are playing with their feet and touching their feet and smiling and laughing. And you can just rock side to side. Oh, this feels so good. It's a wonderful hip opener. Oh my goodness. Just allowing those arms on the feet to allow the body to lay in heavy. Or maybe you just do your shins for a little less pressure, or your ankle. Whatever's comfortable. Some people like to do their toes. They'll grab their baby toes, like a little baby, or their big toes. Whatever's comfortable. Have fun with it. And just, ooh, this always feels really good to me. Just opening up that heart, your body to the world. And when we're ready, slowly with control, bring those legs together, bring them into the floor. Slowly lower down. Now you have another couple options. If you'd like to stay here for a moment and find some peace and find some rest, I welcome you to float your legs onto the mat, palms up, arms out to sides, feet just flutter out to the sides for a nice Shavasana. It's just another moment that allows our body and our mental to align with one another, letting the metaphysical and the physical reach common ground, combined and align. But if you're like me and you have a busy day ahead, feel free from this pose now. You may join me to fall over onto one of your sides. I'm going to fall over to the left side so I can face you. Left arm is on the ground. Right arm is stabilizing as if it were holding up on that needle, thread the needle pose and position. I'm going to use my right arm to help guide my body up, the left arm guiding my body up into a nice seated position. And I'm going to come into either, you can come into a nice easy pose where your legs are just crossed, or if you'd like to do a nice half lotus with me, feel free. You're just aligning your feet and your legs align, stacking one on top of the other. So I'm going to align my right knee over my left, or maybe bring that left leg into center a little bit and let it fall in and find its own peace. And here we are. Like I said, I welcome you to stay in Shavasana. If you need a moment of rest, feel free to do so. Otherwise, join me in this nice easy pose or half lotus. And I want you to take the arms slowly, raising them up one last time. Your gaze following, palms coming together. Slowly with control, bring the palms down in between your eyebrows. This is our third eye. Close the eyes. Just welcome peace into your mind. Slowly with control again, flowing those palms down to our lips, onto our chin. Welcoming light into our life. Then for the last one, taking these palms down to chest, down to our heart chakra, shoulders down posture as well. Allowing love to enter through our hearts, to our bodies, accepting love, self-love, and love of others, truth and honesty. May this flow ease you into the rest of your day with peace, light, and love. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. Hey there. So I want to thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you found this yoga flow day one, our virtual tour of emotions. Today we celebrated happiness. I hope you found it helpful and that it just helps your day start and begin with positivity. This was day one. Tomorrow morning we'll be back with day two. So we're going to go through the week. It's going to be 6 days of virtual touring our emotions. So we are ready to now dive in deep, flow, and just discover our bodies, discover ourselves, and welcome light, love, peace, care, honesty, and happiness. Just let it all in, let all that positivity sink in, and welcome it into your life. Thank you again. Carmita smiles. I'm so happy you were here to join me today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any time. Like I said, there's links also in the descriptions to reach me. Find me on Instagram for other yoga flows and daily content from yoga to natural living to animals to so many beautiful things that make this world and make us in this world and allow us to journey through together. So thank you again. I'll see you tomorrow morning.